Hey y'all, welcome back to City Skylines. This is Cliffside Bay, and it's been longer than a hot minute since the last time I played the game. There we go. Looks a little bit like that. Yeah, sorry about that. It's kind of the nature of the beast. My kind of job leads me to locations all around the states and all around the world, actually. So, yeah, some apologies for that. So sometimes it might be a little bit difficult for me to get my videos out, that kind of thing, but let's see what we can do today. So let me see if I can recap what we did last time around. So it's been longer than a minute. So from what I remember, we tidied up our industry over here. So there we go. I think this is what we got done. Yeah, it looks a little tidier. I'm not too sure what else I did, really. Did I do some detailing? Oh, look at that. I did some hand-picked kind of sheds. That's okay. Like that. That's kind of cool. Oh, and I got some little detailing put in right here. Okay. So today what we're going to do is we're going to do some final forestry, maybe, some final farming and some final ore work, that kind of thing. And we're definitely going to do the beginnings of something over here. Let me show you what we're going to do. A botanical gardens built. There you go. Looks like that. Pretty cool. So yeah, this is going to be the first time I've laid down the botanical gardens in my entire city. There you go. So it's going to be the beginnings of a botanical build. So let's get on today with what we're going to do right now. And today what we're going to do is we're going to do a little change up to this interchange here. So we're going to change the interchange because it's interchangeable, I guess. And what we're going to do with this interchange is we're going to base this one on one from memory. It serves me right is when I drive across Arizona, they got this kind of special kind of interchange, which I kind of like. So let's work on that. All right, I'm going to pause. Do we have stoplights there? Have a little look on here. Trains running past. That's pretty cool. Junctions. Oh, we don't have stoplights. It's just very busy. Okay. As you can see, definitely need some changes here or there. Also, while we got this view on here, we can see these little extra roads here I've got coming from. Where are they coming from exactly? They're coming from Dean's Dip, which is right down here. And they're coming from the stadium. Okay, so we've got this whole complex spaghetti tunnel network. Above the surface, looks like that. So they're coming all the way from down here, kind of thing. So yeah, so definitely going to keep these, but we're going to do a little bit of changing. As you can see, it needs it. It kind of gets in the way of the traffic, these streets here. So let's pause again. Let's actually wait for these to go. Now pause again. So let's do a little bit of deleting. We're going to delete the roads I don't want and keep the ones I do. Okay, so it looks like that from above. Okay, let's go back into this view here. There we go. Perfect. Oh, we got a bracing road here. I forgot to put one on this side here. So it kind of stops there, doesn't it? Okay, we'll leave that like that for now. Okay, so let's see what we need to do. So I want to have, yeah, that's going to be interesting. Let me see how flat the surface is on here. It's lumpy and bumpy, isn't it? Okay. Okay, we'll leave it like that. So let's go to the roads here. What I want to do is I want to put a road kind of here. Started from, why not here? I want to have at least 2 zoning tiles away. I'm going to have the road go straight. Okay, it's hitting. No, it's okay. So let's have it popping out just here. That should be fine. What's that? That distance there to there, that is 880. Okay. So what we want to do is we're going to replicate that across here. It's going to be about there, isn't it? Then 880 is okay. It's going to stop about there. But we've got some columns in the way. Okay. So let's do a little bit of column deleting. So column there is okay. That should work out just fine. Let's put that road back in. That looks visually okay. Now, as you can see, this is going to be a little bit capped or wampus, so it might look absolutely perfect on one side. On the other side, it's going to be a little bit squished because of the nature of the beast, that we're going up a hill kind of thing. So let's put these highways back in. There we go. That is perfect. Yeah, I like that. Just make sure the roads are going the right way around. This is correct. This is incorrect. And now it's correct. There we go. Got that. So what we want to do is we want to join the road somewhere in here. So go back to the normal roads here. I'm going to go freeform. Now I want to kind of hook it in there and give it a kind of a natural kind of... I don't like the way it janks like that. That's kind of weird. Let me take away my snapping points. Try and eyeball this. That's better. Okay, there we go. Not sure why that works out better, but it just does. About there, isn't it? Okay. The same thing here. Yeah, okay. I'm happy with that. So it looks like that from above. There we go. So it doesn't look any different to what we did before, does it? Okay, so what we're going to do now, this is where the difference is. This is where it ties in with Arizona. I'll tell you what. The very first time, I'm going to try and use the curve tool. I never use the curve tool, so I have no idea if I'm doing it correctly or whatever. So let's put the snapping points back on. So let's go down about, I don't know. I don't know what that measurement is. It doesn't tell me. I just click down here. That's 360. Okay, let me go 400. Then turn it around. Right, let me visually look at it. I'm going to eyeball it. Oh, so it matches up with that. I want to eyeball it from above to see if it looks kind of accurate or like a proper semicircle. That kind of works, and the road is going here and it's going to enter here. So maybe, I don't know, can I get it to go in there straight? I mean, straight works, that's okay. Yeah, okay, we'll stick with that. So let's try and do the same on the other side. Now this is going to be a little bit more catawampus because this one's going uphill. And like that. Yeah, I like that. That looks better. We can take that away. We can take that away, and we can take that away. So that is complete. It's a little bit similar, but as you can see, it's a little bit of right because it's going up a hill. Now, I can't change the bumps on these because of the way the game is, without any mods and all that kind of thing. I mean, I can try smoothing it out. Large and heavy maximum smoothing. There you go. It doesn't really change much, but I guess it's a little better, I guess. I don't know. Okay. So this looks like this from above. There you go. So we got that. So pretty cool. Now what we want to do now is we want to join a road from here to here. This is probably this similar design. But what I want to do is kind of match it to the shapes and the curvature of these roads here. So let's try that. I'm going to start off here. We're going to stick with the basic road. Freeform, that's okay. Go kind of here. I'm going to take away my snapping points just so I can visually do this easier without any hang-ups. I'll bring it to about there. I'm trying to match the curve. I'm going to kind of round it off here. 2 tiles away would be kind of cool. 2 tiling zones. And then try and match that curve there. About to the halfway point, I think. Then we're going to curve it in. We go 2 tiles away again. Just about get away with that. Like that. And then I'm going to go straight. Let me put it on straight. About there. Yep, and I'm going to put it back on freeform. And then I'm going to match it in like that. There we go. And it looks like that from above. Looks pretty cool, doesn't it? I'm going to try and do it from the other side. But this is going to be a little bit different because, like I said, it's a little bit catawampus. Escape and take away all the overlays, and it looks like that. There you go. Perfect. Absolutely perfect. So I think we're done with that. So let's take away this road here. Don't need that anymore. There you go. Now, are these going the right way? They are not. Okay. But we'll change that over in a second. So the final thing we're going to do is we're going to then join this road from here to about here. So let's do that. I'm thinking, let's try and do what we did last time. Kind of eyeball it. Oh no, I'm just quickly going to visualize something. That looks okay. I'm okay with that. Okay. Just stick to one zoning tile away. And go, put it on straight. About there will be fine. Then go back to freeform. I'm going to try and curve it around. I want it to be about 1 tile away there. I'm going to follow the curvature of the road again. That looks about right, and then we're just going to pop it in like that. There you go, and that looks like that. That's pretty cool. Now, can we do the same with this? It's going to be trickier on this side. Well, that's going to be about there, isn't it? Okay, there you go. It looks like that from above. All the overlays taken away. Loosely based on the Interchange in Arizona, which I've driven over many, many times in the past few years. There you go. It looks like a little bit like that, I guess. But I only ever see it from here. Okay, so let's take a look at some lane maps, shall we? Come out of here. There we go. So we're going to go into a little piece of lane mathematics, but it's going to be very minuscule. As you can see, these are 4-lane roads. And what we got here are 3-lane roads. What we got here is me clicking on the wrong button. Let me look for, this is what we want. We want a 2-lane one-way road of grass. There we go. Let's go back to that. What we're going to do is we're going to convert this little road here into a 2-lane. And this one here, like that. And then we're going to convert these into one-way highway ramps. These ones here. Hopefully it'll work. No, space is already occupied. Okay. Might have to make a little change there. There we go. We got that working. We got 1 lane. So we got 2 lanes. Take away 1 lane, leaves you with 1 lane. This one here. But what I got to do now is switch around this little road here. So let's do that. Just delete it and freeform it. There you go. Perfect. And let's make sure the roads are going the right way. This is not going the right way. So we'll flip you around. And there you go. That's perfect. And then we can do the same with all the roads here. Turn them into one-way highway ramps. Okay, that is done. They are all flipped around the right way. So hopefully that is done. Let me have a look on here. So we got 1 lane. Joining into another 1 lane, which makes 2 lanes. And then all math goes out the window from there on in. But there you go. It looks like that. So let's come into the view without the overlays. Looks like that. This is the final design. There you go. So it doesn't look like I did that much. I just tidied up these kind of little connections. And then I connected this here with these semicircles. So there you go. Let's see it in action and see how smooth it is. So there you go, it's all running buttery smooth. Although I never consider butter as smooth, more kind of like drippy and squishy and sticky. Well, there you go, looks like that. Let me come out of here, let me slow the game down. That's what it looks like in normal speed. Absolutely no problems with the traffic. Okay, let's move on to our next job. So next, moving back over here, let's go back to the beginnings of what's going to be our botanical garden. Let's move you over there. Delete these roads here. Now, let's see if I can come up with a little design for this. Now, I'm thinking all this is going to be botanical gardens, but can I put in some, I don't know, a little piece of farming and some forestry, or make it a bit of a farmer's market, or I don't know, or piece of a garden center, so encompass it all as one design. But what I want to do, I want to have a a road like this. Let me go onto this one here, put my snap points back on. So there we go. I want a kind of road like this, a distinguished kind of road, an eye-opener that leads up to the entrance to the botanical gardens, I guess. Now, where do I want to put the road? So from above, I think from there to there. So the center would be kind of here, wouldn't it? Okay. Have a road here and a road here. No, I want a road as... Oh, yeah, this is perfect. Okay, how about here? Yeah, that visually looks perfect. Look at that coming up from the police department. Yeah, that is definitely more of a centerpiece. Although it's not really going to be technically in the center. It's going to be a little bit of right, but I don't mind that. I'm okay with that. So let's go to my measuring tools. So we're going to go for my normal road. So what I want to do is get 2 sets of 4 zoning tiles. Let me show you. So a 4x4 here, and then a 4x4 here. So this should be 400, I think. 400, bring that across. There we go. Like that. So that's pretty cool. So we definitely want that road to go through there. So let's reconnect that up. There you go. Perfect. Let me take away that zoning until I work out what I want to do with that. Okay, so how far down here do I want the road? Let me have a little guess. I'm thinking back on this road, please. I'm thinking this kind of design here, what comes here and goes there like that kind of thing. Interesting. Okay, let me have a little look at the zoning. Okay, interesting. What we can do, we can have this little area here, jumpy game, as a little piece of decorating. So I'll just put a path here and do some little decorating in there. But how many blocks we're going to get this way? 5 is the magic number. Now I could I can do a little border there with another path. Creates a nice little detailing triangular block there. I'm going to leave a road there. I mean, I could have that as a path. And then here, I'm going to take away the zoning from here. I do blocks of 3. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Then 1, 2, 3 here. Can I get another block of 3? If I take away the zoning from this street here, going to work? It is. There we go. And then I get another block of 3 there. No, I'm okay with that. That's okay. So 1, 2, yeah. So 1, 2, 3. And there, let me tell you what. While I'm just working things out in the top of my head, let me put a path here. And then, so we're going to have 1, 2, 3, 4 kind of little farming sheds. And then we're going to have another bunch of 4 farming sheds. But these ones are going to be 3 wide and 4 deep, that kind of thing. So what I want to do now is turn this into a specialized farming zone. So let's do that. Now, I'm not too sure how far I want this zone to go, so we'll just leave it like that for now. So that is, apparently that's called Linden Hills. Okay. So this is going to be farming, so let's turn it into a farming zone by clicking on the right one. There we go. So let's see. Let's try and put these blocks already here. Okay, so yeah, we're going to do a lot of whack-a-moling. And let's see if we can get some specific farming buildings to pop in. Okay, some of these are interesting, some of these are not. Now those zones are taken up. I can now put some zoning on those missing pieces there. That's zoned in. Okay. Nope. Here. Okay. Oh, we got a farm shed. This is perfect. This is exactly the kind of shed I'm looking for. This kind of design here. So let's carry on. Oh, I didn't even see this come in. This is perfect. This is exactly what I want. Okay, there we go. So what do I want down here? I like this matches it with the path. I like the texture of one of these animal enclosures, so we can put that here. Hopefully we can get one of those popping in, and that kind of blend in really well. But the bananas keeps leaving the gates open. That is bad farm management. Okay. So I guess this might take a long time. So what I'll do is I'll continue doing my whack-a-moling, and then I'll get back to you at the end of all this. As you can see, it's going to take a long time. Okay, we are done. Let me make this final one historical. There we go. And there we go. That took a long time, I'll tell you that. But it looks like that right now. It's pretty cool. So yeah, I ended up going for, what is this? These are 3x3s yet again. I was trying to go for a 3x4 variation. It's the same shed, but it has a little bit of gardening on the end. I couldn't get it popping in. So I just cut it down to a 3x3 and we get a different variation of the sheds we got here. Still farming, but it is just a little different look. So there we go. So we got our final kind of beginnings of what is going to be the botanical garden center kind of farmer's market build. Looks like that. There you go. So we can do some extra detailing here and maybe here, that kind of thing for later on. So let me slip you over there for now. We go. So it looks like that. So next on our list, what we're going to do is we're going to work on, this is going to be a hilltop kind of community. So it's going to be like, I guess the original owners of these houses here would probably have been the original workers in the farms and the forestry, that kind of thing, like they are here. these houses here, or this little community here. So the community is going to be very similar to this one here. There you go. And now these are amongst the trees, but I don't know. I think they should be amongst more trees. It should be really slap bang in the middle of a forest. I like the idea of this being a little cutaway road here. So they got two options of getting to the Hilltop Community. They can use this part of the community's original road, I guess, which was there. And then when man came along and industrialized the whole area, built this other road here. But keeping the original road that goes up the hill, that kind of thing. That's what I'm going to pretend this is. So let's hook that road up. Yeah, that's working out okay. Yeah, that's perfect. And here, oh, we're okay here. Okay, there we go. So I'm going to delete this medical center. I'm going to keep this though. This is very interesting. But what I want to do is, I don't know. I might put in a medical center here. There you go. Perfect. And then let's fit in some hillside buildings here, which are going to be absolutely perfect because the power is going to jump from these buildings here to here. There we go. So let's see what shapes and sizes we can get. So I really want to keep these kind of low levels. I don't really want to go for too big a building, but 2x2s might be okay. A few little buildings here and there. Yeah, okay, let's watch this grow, see what happens. As soon as those buildings start popping in, the power will jump. There we go. See, the power's jumping automatically. Keep jumping, keep jumping. Gotta wait for this one. There we go. Now we got the power. That's perfect. Okay, so let's have a little look and see what we got. I like this one. We'll keep this one. This one is a bit, a bit more kind of townhousey, I guess. This one's a bit, I don't know, a bit weird. These are all similar. Is this one different? This one looks different. Okay, we'll keep that one. That one. This one's similar to that one in style, but I don't like that. So what I'll do, I'll wait for some of these to level up. If not, I'll just play a little bit of whack-a-mole. And I want to kind of keep them a little bit different, I guess. So here, what I want to do is, I want to put a cemetery here, like a spooky cemetery through the forest, I guess, because this is going to be all forest area. Oh yeah, I want to put a spooky kind of cemetery there. So let's flatten this land out. Make sure it stays flat. Okay, that's kind of flat. Put a road with a medium in. Well, we're going to go here. Like that. I'm thinking we go for this road here. We're going to push that along a little bit like that. And then we're going to push it to the side here. Like that. We're going to do the same on the other side. Like that. There we go. And what we're going to do, we're going to have these little crematoriums. This is a kind of a gateway house, gateway building. Yeah. Going to have another one of these, so let's find it. Here it is. There you go. So these are kind of like representing almost kind of like gatehouses to the kind of the road that goes to the cemetery. And what we're going to do, we're going to change that over to a dirt track. Yeah, let's see if we can get away with it. Yeah, I like the way it kind of blends into that. Kind of interesting. Okay. And then we're going to put a cemetery in here. Yep, I like that. And what we're going to do, we're going to have the minister's house of the cemetery, which I'm going to just pretend this is a church. I'm going to have a minister's house kind of residing right back here. Here we go. Pretty cool. Now let me press play again. Now we got that working. Okay, we'll leave that running. Oh, this is level 3 now. Okay. How's it looking? Does that look like a minister's house? I guess we could keep that one. Yeah, let's keep that one. But what I want to do now is, as part of the Hilltop Community, what I want to do is somehow get the power connecting from here to here and then into here. So the best way to do that is with great difficulty. What I'm going to do, I'm going to turn this into a little forestry area here. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to put in 1 or 2 little forestry buildings, little blocks like this, and see if we can get the power jumping. So maybe we'll get a block here and a block here and maybe a block here, and hopefully the power will jump. So let's turn that into forestry like that. There we go. And then what else we're going to do is let's put in I think we might have a schoolhouse around here somewhere, but we have a think. I'm thinking here, this is where the original road to the community kind of entered the hills. I'm going to have this as the original kind of center of the community. So let's go for a 2-lane road with trees. I'm going to have this one straight. So let's place down a little road network for this Forestry Hilltop Community. So we're going to have a couple of stores here. So let's go into Tree Farm. Bring you around there. And what we're going to do is going to have a kind of a little schoolhouse at the back. But as we don't have any miniature schoolhouses, I'm going to have to settle for one of those big ones. So let's go for this one here. Like that. There we go. So that's going to be the schoolhouse. I'm going to take away the road and then put it back in how I want. There you go. Looks like that. It's connected, so that's okay. Let's see if we can put in a few houses along here. Okay, happy with that. Let's carry on over here. Go, so that might work out okay. A little look. Another little road down here. Looks like it should have a road down here. Yeah, I'm kind of happy with that. Yep, happy with that. Anything else I want to add? Maybe another little cut-off road over here. Like that, and then we can join them up with a path, that kind of thing. So there we go, that's our little community. So hopefully we can get all the power jumping. So what we're going to do, we're going to put in a few little things like we've got here. So let's begin, I guess. We're going to go for some stores, which are going to be here. So what I'm looking for kind of a general store and maybe a gas station kind of thing. And hopefully the power will jump from there. We'll see what happens. We're going to go for that. And then we're going to go for a few little houses here and there if we can fit them in. Okay, so it looks like that so far. We'll do the rest of the area later. I just want to see if the power will jump with my little buildings we got here. So yeah, let's watch this and we'll play a little piece of whack-a-mole at the same time. So let's go. Hopefully going to get the right source. We got a house instantly popping in here. Let me check for the power. Oh, look at that. That is perfect. That's automatically hooked into there and this one anyway. So I didn't have to worry about any houses here. So let's see what happens with the rest. All those houses are sneaking in. Okay, what we got here, that's a general store, making that historical. Okay, perfect. This is going to be the gas station I want. I can't believe that. All in one go, perfect. So there you go, that's the only stores they got for this little community. I'm going to keep some of these houses the same. And I'm going to keep a lot of them under-leveled. Definitely want that one to change. This one, oh, we got 2 of these the same. Interesting. Interesting, okay. How are we doing over here? Still waiting for the forestry to pop in. Oh no, we've got this one in, that's okay. Okay, this one's popping in, perfect. Just gotta wait for this one over here. There we go, got it working. So we need to have them popping in here, which means I gotta put another building in here, I believe. So let's do that. Let's watch the power jump. There we go. We got there. Got there in the end. So let's see. Everything is connected. That's perfect. So let's have a little look to see what buildings we got and which ones we want to level up. Let's go back to here, see how we're doing over here. Still level 1, okay. This one is, wow, that's a really townhousey. I definitely do not want that one there. Okay, interesting. The keeper, that one's a keeper. Okay, these are all the same. That's the same, that's the same. So got a bit of work to do on those ones. So it looks like that so far, and you really can do a bit of a rural community without using mods to connect these little houses together. I mean, you can use those, I think I've seen people on video use those things from the Natural Disasters DLC, but I don't have any DLC at all, so even I can get away with it by just putting in little pieces of forestry. Sometimes the forestry little plots come up as just trees, which is absolutely perfect, this kind of setting. So there you go. So you can get away with picking the path between buildings and making it look very rural. There you go. So this is going to be a hilltop forestry kind of neighborhood, I guess. So it's going to be hidden by a lot of trees. So let's move on over to here. And while we're doing that, we'll hopefully do a little bit of whack-a-moling with these as well. Okay, so see if we can get some more buildings popping in. Okay, let's slow that right down. There we go. So I did try and shy away from buildings with the solar panels on there because it's not really the vibe, the flavor I'm going for this kind of area. But when you're playing whack-a-mole, sometimes you can't be that choosy. It's especially this kind of game, vanilla, no DLC. It takes hours and hours just to get the right buildings to pop in, I guess. We got some of those anyway. But yeah, some of the buildings I've let level up and some of them I made instantly historical. What we're going to do now, we're going to move on to the farming. So this is going to be kind of cool. Okay, so let's see what we got here. So this is the farming kind of area here. What I want to do is kind of set this up to be kind of one kind of big, major, kind of heavy industrial farm. I might turn it into mixed use, as in livestock and crops, that kind of thing. We're going to have a main farmhouse, and then we're going to have a, I don't know, maybe a heavy farm industrial kind of area here, that kind of thing. Maybe verging on some crops. So let me do a little bit of land smoothing. And we got quite an area to put the farm in. So do I want to make a change to this traffic circle or leave it like this? I guess it's okay. What we can do is we can hide how big this traffic circle is by putting in lots of detail, trees and things like that, turning it maybe into a hill, that kind of thing. Tell you what, let me start off by doing one of the forestry builds. So let's do that here. So this is all farming. Okay, perfect. So let's turn that into a small little brush there. And let's turn this into forestry. There we go. That is apparently that is called Popular Hills Forestry. Okay, interesting. So let me put a dirt track in. So I'm going to try and do some random shapes, and as like we did with the community over here, as you can see here. Oh yeah, so this is going to be a 4x4. Okay, that's going to be our first little industry. So we're going to call that, there you go, that's Popular Forestry. Let's make sure that it is forestry. There we go. Perfect. Kind of cool. Now let's watch these buildings go in. So there you go. That is a Popular Forestry. So we got that little business there. So let's do something over here. Oh, let me have a think. I want to have a big building here and maybe a couple of little things here. So yeah, let's take this road away. Let's change this up. There you go. That is called rich timber. Okay, so let's put some buildings in here. So I want to go for maybe go for a 3x4. Looks kind of convincing. Looks okay. It doesn't look okay now. Okay, yeah, let's change that over. I'm kind of going for this kind of building here. No, or maybe one of these buildings. Oh, it likes that building. It really does like that building. I'll keep trying and see if we get something. Oh, look, it's almost instantaneous. Okay. Oh, this looks better. This looks better. Let me see. That is, yeah, that's what I want. Okay, that's perfect. And while I'm at it, let's make all these historical so don't delete them on accident. So there we go. We got coal ridge timber there. And we got popular forestry just here. Let's put in one more. Let's put one in here. Let's call that woods logging instead because it sounds a bit better, I guess. Woods logging. There we go. We got that. So let's put in some build. Oh, yet again, let's make this forestry. There we go. And then let's put in some buildings. So what I want to go for is I just want to put a few buildings on this side here. So we're going to go, yet again, we're going to go for a 2x3. Maybe a 2x2 there. And maybe a 2x2 there. Then we're going to go for a 3x4 here, I think. Like that. Let's see what pops in. Okay, so that one's a bit more industrial looking, but okay, I guess for variation, we'll keep that one. So yeah, kind of happy with that. Let's make sure everything here is historical. So that's kind of cool. So we got all that. So this is our little forestry community we got going on here. So we got popular forestry here. We got coal rich timber here, and we got woods logging. There we go. So that's pretty cool. So yeah, let's get back onto here. So let me help with the power jump, and let me put in, I'm thinking we put in maybe a little building in here. We have got a little restaurant, I guess. Okay. Okay, we'll keep that. Keep that. Nothing wrong with that. That's going to help jump the power to over here. So what we're going to do, we're going to have the main farm building here. The main farmhouse, that kind of thing. So what I want to do is, I don't know. Maybe go for a 3x4. So we're going to delete this little road here. And this little road here. What I want to do is lay out a road which gives me a 3x4. So that's a 3. So if we can go straight here. I'm going to hook it in around here. What I want to look for is a building that can turn into a shed. I'm looking for a 2x2, so I don't know about this. So yeah, let me delete this. What I want to do is I want to move that over here and have this as a 2x2 shed. So let's take away the zoning for this side here. There you go, perfect. And now I can get my little shed in here. So let's do that right now. Okay, we got our first building moving in. What is it? It is, okay, that is, I'm not too sure. No, I don't like that. Goodbye, see you later. So you can see this is turning into nothing but a whack-a-mole episode. Okay, here we go. This looks like the one. This is perfect. There we go, perfect. Is that historical? It is, that's historical. There we go. So even more whack-a-moling. I'm going to wait for this to turn into something other than that because that's kind of not what I want. So we'll see what that levels up into. But for now, we'll leave it like that. Okay, so we have that right now. It's looking pretty cool. So let's finish off the farm by going for the proper, super industrialized kind of little part of the farm, I guess. So we're going to put in a bracing road right here in this traffic circle, just to try and maintain the integrity of the circle. Okay, so what we want to do is go for kind of like a block of 4x4s like we got over here. 1, 2, 3, 4, like that. Kind of similar thing. We're going to put it right here, I hope. So let me see. Let me start off from maybe here. I'm going to put in some extra long roads for now. I don't want it to break into that zone there. So let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So we want the road going up here. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, that is perfect. So that is a length of 200. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. That is perfect. So let's bring this along here like that. There we go. So I can finally get my blocks of 4. There we go. So yeah, let's do that right now. So I'm looking for something more kind of industrial, maybe. Here we go. We got some buildings popping in. Okay. Interesting. I'm not too sure why this is doing this. I don't want them. There you go. That is perfect. That's exactly what I want. That's okay. It's kind of facing that way. Okay, we'll stick with that. So as you can see, this is absolutely painstaking. It's not really going to turn out how I want, I guess. But what I'll do, I'll keep attempting it. And eventually I'll get the exact buildings that I want popping in. But yeah, that's just the trials and tribulations that come with trying to fine-tune your actual city. It's very complicated sometimes. So yeah, I'll get back to you when we've got it all done. See, I want this building here, but popping in here. And then I want some livestock kind of over here, that kind of thing. So yeah, what I'll do, I'll get back to you at the end of all this. Okay, let's see. We got one more building to go. I don't know. Maybe I'm just going to leave it like that. Okay. Yeah, what I'm going to do, I'm going to call this stop to this because playing whack-a-mole, especially when you're trying to get all the... Oh, hello. What's this? Okay. No, that doesn't fit in. That's a little bit too ugly. Let me delete that. I'm going to pause it right there. Let me take away that strip, actually. There we go. Got rid of the strip. So yeah, it's taking for too long to get all the whack-a-mole in done. But yeah, as you can see here, I got another shed popping in. And then I got the livestock popping in. Here this came eventually. And then this, I kind of gave up trying to get blocks of 4. So what I did here is, let me show you. So this is a 3x4. I thought I'd just take away a strip to see what turns up. And we got this kind of looking orchard kind of thing here. Then this strip here is a 1x4, which just gave me this shed here. And I was thinking maybe I'll get another shed here, but maybe that's too much. So maybe I'll just leave this blank. And here is another 3x4, I believe. Yeah, 3x4. There you go. So it looks like that. Make sure they're all historical. Okay, fine. That's fine. Okay, yeah, we'll leave this blank. And what I'll do, I'll just put a path in here. We go, and that'll just add to the texture of the terrain of this. So that's pretty cool. But yeah, this is the finalization for this part of the farm. So let's do a little bit more here. So this is going to be a mixed-use kind of farm. So let's do some crops, I think. So yeah, let's go back to that dirt track, which is not there, which is here. There it is. Okay. So let's make this kind of natural looking. Like that, and let's go for some kind of patchwork, kind of quilt, kind of cloud land, that kind of thing. That's what I'm thinking. So if we go to the paths, as you can see right here, we can do some plowed fields. Which way do I want the fields to go? I'm thinking kind of across here like that. I'll tell you what, let me add a little bit more character to this road here. There you go, that's going to add an extra shape to the actual fields. Give it a little bit more character, that kind of thing. So let's go like that. There you go, and then what I'll do is I'm going to put a little piece of hedgerow across here to separate the two fields, that kind of thing. There we go. That separates the plowed fields. I like that. So let's carry on as we did before. And then what we're going to do, one final little thing, is we're going to go over to these little shrubs here, or bushes, these ones here. And then we're going to plant these along here. So there you go. So we got that. So that's pretty cool. So we're going to leave that one just like that as an odd one, like that one's growing. So what they do is they rotate crops. So what they'll do, they'll grow in one place and then they turn over the soil in another place, that kind of thing. So they're rotated to give the land a chance to breathe, that kind of thing. So that's what we're going to do. We're just going to leave it like that. So let's do a final little piece of design. Let's put another little road along here. There we go. Perfect. Now let's connect a few little buildings in here. Whatever these turn into, I do not mind. I'm not going to play whack-a-mole with these too much. We do what we did before. We're trying to get all these to connect to each other, that kind of thing. Let me do, no, not there. We're going to go here, a little strip here. And maybe we can get a couple of sheds, that kind of thing going on here. I'm not too sure if that'll work, but we could try it. There we go. Let's put a single one there, and hopefully these all connect. So let's see what they pop into and see if they connect via the power. There we go. We got a connection straight away. We put another little single one here. That's kind of similar. Let's get rid of that. That looks like it's going to be similar. That's more like it. That's similar. Let's get rid of that. And then what we can do is we can put a little piece of detailing at the back there. Let me find something. There you go. And I kind of like the fact that it ruins the texture across there. It kind of makes it more, I don't know, realistic maybe? Okay, so let's work on something over here. So let's smooth this land out over here. Okay, so let's see. Let me go to the roads. So dirt track. What I want to do is have a kind of a barn over here. So go for a... Yeah, so we want to get a straight road, but we want it to be a barn. I don't know though. Let me think. Let me put it on a hill. Put the barn on a hill. Just what I wanted, that kind of old farm building kind of barn look. Absolutely beautiful. Perfect. Now, is it going to tie in with the power? It's not. Oh, it does over there. Okay. I did not expect that. Okay. So we got a couple of little things to pop in here. We got a farm building kind of here and a farm building here, which will pop in sometime. I don't mind what it turns into. Yeah, this is okay. This is looking good. Let me look in. Go into this view here. There you go. So it looks like that. Pretty cool. Oh, there we go. That's what I wanted. I wanted a kind of a tower thing here, but okay, we'll go with that one. Yeah, okay. So there you go. I think we are just about done, and it looks pretty cool, doesn't it? There we go. Absolutely beautiful. So I think we are nearly at the end of this episode. Nearly. Got one more thing to do. After I've deleted this. There you go, that'll stop people going crazy. What we're going to do is we're going to finish up with the ore industry here, which is I'm just going to build a tiny little quarry kind of down there, that kind of thing. So double checking on the farm again. No, it's not going to work, is it? Okay. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to kind of reshape some of the land. I'm going to do a lot of deleting. Let me pause the game. I'm going to do a whole bunch of deleting like this. So yeah, so what I'm going to do, like I said, I'm going to do a bit of shaping of the terrain, removing some trees maybe and some rocks, that kind of thing. And I'll get back to you when the land has been shaped. Okay, we are nearly there. Another little look. So yeah, a whole bunch of trees deleted. We've shaped the land a little. Kind of kept it the same level as here at the moment. So what we're going to do is we're going to do a tiny little quarry. So let me see. That looks a little bit higher than that, doesn't it? Okay. Try that again. Okay, that's better. Yeah, I like that. Okay, so what we're going to try and do is do a little miniature ore quarry. That's what we're going to try and do. So let me go to my paths. So let's see if I can come up with a kind of a little design. So what I want to do, this path here is, yeah, this is going to represent a road. This is how I'm going to have the road layout. I'm going to have a road go kind kind of take off snapping points in free form. Gonna have a road kind of go along here. Kind of like that, and then it's going to come up here and then come out and join into the road there like that. And then this, I guess this is going to go kind of like that. So it's going to be a kind of a miniature quarry. That's what I'm thinking. So let's go back to lowering the land. So medium, yeah, medium, that's fine. So a little piece of lowering. Go, it's kind of rough and ready, but it is going to be a super miniature quarry. So yeah, there we go. So let's see what we got going on here. Let's do a little bit of flattening out the terrain here. What I want to do is put in a couple of buildings here. So let's delete that road completely. Okay, that'll do. I like that. Now let's put that road back in. Okay, and then we're going to put in that coal power plant, which is this one here, like that. And then what we're going to do, we're going to try and hide that with some rocks and trees, that kind of thing. So let's have a little look at the rocks. We got these kind of rocks here. So that might work. We could put a bunch of rocks in front like that. What we can do is we can shift the terrain from about here, raise it up like that, and that can make the rocks go higher than the actual building. And then you kind of got the building hidden away behind all the rocks. Pretty cool. And then we put a lot of trees around there to try and hide it even more. So we got that planned. That's okay. So let's see if we can put in a couple of little ore buildings around here. So let's go for maybe, I don't know, let's go for a 3x4. See what that turns into. Put it just about here. While that's kicking in, we stretch out the land a little piece more there. Okay, that's cool. And then let's put this road over where this path is. There we go. So there we go. We got a miniature tiny quarry. Pretty cool. And from this kind of view, you don't even know there's a quarry there. So it's pretty cool. I like that. We got a building going in. We do. There we go. Is that... Doesn't look like an ore building to me. Yeah, okay. We'll leave it like that. That's okay. So yeah, let's connect in a few more little buildings here and there. So if hopefully we can get the power connecting to this main building we got here. So let's put that in. And this time, I guess the whack-a-moling is going to be kind of easy on the eye this time. Okay, so we got these going in. That's okay. This is the wrong kind of building. And so is that. So maybe 2x2s is not the way to go. Let's look for the connectivity. So that's okay. Everything is connected nice and fine. So let's hope that something pops in here. We got another building popping in. Okay, is that a little different to that? Okay, I guess we'll leave that. We'll leave that. That's okay. What is this going to be? It's going to be something good? Please be something smaller. That is perfect. That's what I want. Okay, what is that? That is a 2x2? No, is it a 2x2? It might be a 2x2. I'm not too sure. Not too sure. Okay. Oh, we got something over here, finally. This is exactly what I wanted. It's a shame it's facing this way. I'd rather be facing that way, but that's okay. Maybe I could get that to face that way. I don't know, but yeah, I think we're okay with this. So we'll leave that like that, so I'm absolutely happy with that. A few little pieces of storage, and you can see everything is connected. So we just got to wait for these little things to pop in, and then our ore industry, as you can see here, miniature one, is complete. And then all we got to do is a bit more terraforming and smoothing and all that, and then place in some rocks and trees, that kind of thing. That's all we need to do for this area. I was going to say let's keep our eyes open, but look, they've already popped in. There you go. That's perfect. So there we go. Our ore industry is now complete. Perfect. So let's see. What can we do with these? Let's do one little kind of crazy little thing. There we go. I think that is done. Yep, kind of pleased with that. There you go. So I think that is the whole entirety of our build. So I think we're going to call that the end of the episode. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to do a tiny piece of detailing. So I'll get back to you after all this. And right about now, I expect the time-lapse video of me detailing will now fade away and will cut into me detailing in real life. As standard with me. There we go. Yeah, and this is 3 days later, believe it or not. Here we go. So I'm now detailing in real life. I'm foreshadowing what's going to happen when I do the editing later on down the line. There we go. So yes, put a little odd one over here, and let's put one over here next to this one. There we go. We are absolutely done. So if you use your imagination, these are not trash cans. These are barrels of whatever. There we go. So we got that working. Is that shadow flickering? It's flickering. If I press pause, it stops flickering. There we go. Let's get it running so we can see the rock crusher extracting the minerals. Looks like that. Pretty cool. So yeah, there we go. I finally managed to finish off my little quarry, and it was kind of a bit of a squeeze to try and get it in here, because you can see this is the boundary line. I only had this short little space, but I managed to make a little quarry out of this, Ore Quarry. This is my ore industry, as you can see there. I managed to sneak in a little kind of coal power plant. I think it was over here on the hill before I moved it around, so it's now here, snuck behind the rocks and the trees, so you wouldn't even know it was there. Imagine you're a person, this is what you would see. You walk past. As you walk past the clipping rocks. There we go, so that's what we got done. So let's take a look at what we got down over the last few days, shall we? Go into this view here, there we go. So over the last few days, what we did is we retweaked this interchange. Now from memory, this is based on the Arizona, one of the Arizona interchanges. I can't remember which one. I know that I ride over it quite a few times. And I only get this vision here, I think. I never see it from above, but I think it's something like this. This kind of shape. Doesn't have a rail track. It's not on a hill. It looks a little bit like that, and that's now running absolutely smoothly. No problems with any traffic. No cross-town traffic hitting each other. So it looks absolutely beautiful. So we got that. What else did we do over the last few days? Here we go. The beginnings of my botanical gardens. Looks like a little bit like that. Got some little piggies and some crops, I guess, and whatever this is and whatever that is over there. So yeah, this is the beginnings of my botanical gardens. I've just placed this here just to remind me what this is going to be later on down the line. It won't look like this in the end, but this part here is finished. It's just not detail finished, if you know what I mean. Man, this whole video was spent hours and hours playing whack-a-mole trying to get into the right buildings to pop in. And as you can see, I didn't bother trying to get the buildings to be the same shade of color. If they popped in, that was it. They were made instantly historical, I hope. Yeah, these are all historical. There we go. Oh, no, apart from this one. I missed this one. Got to make that historical. And this one. So we got all that done. Let me actually put this view on here. So you can see these are 4x4s. Going to marquee. So these are 4x4s. These are 3x3s. And yeah, that's what I got done there. So there we go. Also, what we did is we finished up our rural community, which is a bit of a town, I guess, in a forest on a hill. There you go. And this is the minister's house. This is the cemetery. And this is a, I don't know, occultist, spooky kind of shrine. Or it could be something absolutely natural. You never know. You got to use your imagination. This is the long, spooky drive through the forest, I guess. If I can find. There we go. We should install a first-person camera mod, that kind of thing. Yeah, this would be the long, winding kind of spooky drive across the forest. It looks something like that, and it goes all the way around there, and you come out where these two crematoriums are, which are kind of like a gatehouse, that kind of thing. So we put that there. This is the rest of the village, as you can see here. And we do a little slow pan over here. Pretty cool, isn't it? So yeah, this is a lot of time to spend whack-a-mole in all these buildings. We got a gas station here. We got the only general store. And we got this kind of feature here, this giant redwood tree here, which is a major feature of the rural school. There you go. It's like that, little piece of detailing. Managed to slip an extra little park in here, just to add a little bit of value to the land here for the houses to level up. So that looks like that. Is there anything else new here? Not really. As you can see, the detailing was just mainly putting in lots of trees. Now, this is my kind of Stepford vibes, I don't know, kind of little based around one of those kind of little chocolate box kind of village ponds you get in those kind of places in the UK. I just imagine the cult leaders live here. Kind of weird, isn't it? It looks like that. It's kind of cool. Did my usual trick of making a pretend pond, and then I made a little dock or a jetty out of those picnic benches. And as you can see, the game kind of flickers with the shadows unless you press pause. Like that. There we go. So it looks like that. It's kind of cool. I like that little design. And then the winding road goes past the rest of the houses, winding all the way through the rest of the forest, I guess. So it looks like that. Then it pops out into the rest of Cliffside Bay. There you go. So we got that done, and that's kind of cool. So I'm guessing the inspiration behind... Oh, look at that all popping in and out. Look at my LUDs. I guess the inspiration behind this build was based upon me putting in a little bit of historical lore. So I guess, imagine, if you will, this is the original kind of settlement of Cliffside Bay was here. Little community on the hills in the forest. And this is the original road, as you can see here, winds up the little hill. And these were all here because of the forestry industry and logging and timber, that kind of thing, and the mining. And then it suddenly exploded and became a proper kind of city, I guess. But yeah, this is the original kind of town, and this was the original road, but they've kept the original road. And they've secured its foundations with these rock walls, you can see here. And depending on my LUD settings, they disappear about there. There you go. And then, like I said, 100 years or so later, the town exploded, and then they built a new road around the community and through the community, kind of thing. But the community was staying put; they weren't getting out anywhere. So there we go. So that's my little historical lore behind that. So let's move on over here. So yeah, we finished off with some little timber kind of logging businesses. As you can see here, let me go into this view here. So this is woods logging, apparently. There we go. And then this is Coleridge timber, which looks like that. And then over here should be one more. Here it is, poplar forest. Okay. I thought it was popular, but okay, it's poplar forest. Okay. Which looks like that, which is more of a, I don't know, this is more of a tree planting business, I guess. Looks like that. It's pretty cool, isn't it? Let's go. Oh, yeah, let me show you this view again. And as you can see, not only was a lot of whack-a-moling to get the right kind of buildings, but it was also trying to get the power jump in by putting little spots of buildings here, there, and everywhere. You can see here. I did the same thing with my community build. Little spots of placing little buildings here, there, and everywhere, just strategically to get the power jump in. I kind of did that, as you can see, hidden in the forest, little pieces of timber, that kind of thing. But let me go into this view here. You can see how I've done it. Little spots of forestry industry to help jump the power. You can see throughout the rest of the village. Pretty cool, isn't it? Pretty cool. Quite a little neat trick I've used over the past few years of playing this game. Especially here, I kind of purposely put this barn here so it'll jump the power across here. There you go. So we got that. So that's pretty cool. Oh, and of course, I forgot about the farm. And then we finished off our cozy farms. What's wrong with you? Lack of money? Okay. Have a look. Low land value. Well, I apologize for that. It's not my fault. Can I make you better? How about, let me just delete you. There we go. Speed up the game and get another store in there. Here it comes. What's it going to be this time? It's going to be the same building. Okay. And you're not going to complain of the land value, and then I'm going to make you instantly historical. There we go. That was a pointless exercise in complaining, wasn't it? There we go. So yeah, this is my cozy farms finally finished, as you can see here. Now I've done a few little neat things, but yeah, let's go over here. So yeah, done this kind of little cloud-filled kind of technique where you put down loads of paths. This field here, I have decided to put in these little shrubs here to make it look like something's been planted. No idea what it is. Use your imagination. Created my own little hedgerows, you can see here, by putting little pieces of bushes and trees, small trees and shrubs, that kind of thing. So this hedgerow kind of frames all of these fields, and I've put it around the whole entire farm complex, you can see here. So lots of little strategic sheds to help jump the power, like I said before. Like that. Pretty cool. Got a few of these little kind of odd looking fields, and then just a lot of sheds, because these are the only buildings that are popping in. If you remember, I'm not using any kind of mods or any assets. Then this little thing here, I'm not sure what this is supposed to be, but there it is. And then I thought I'd turn this into a kind of a mixed farm. So you got lots of cattle here, and someone keeps leaving the gates open, which is just absolutely wrong. Absolutely wrong. And then I've got this shed in here. This is facing this way. And this is facing that way, I guess. And as you can see, I spent a lot of time whack-a-mole trying to get this working. These are 4x4s, I think. Let me remember. And yeah, and then I gave up because it was taking too long. And then I created a 3x4, which popped in this kind of flavor here. And this is a 1x4. There we go. So I gave up trying to get different buildings. So come back into this view here. There we go. So that's why that looks like that. But it's a pretty cool farm, I think. Then over here, the pièce de résistance. If you look from the background, just above the hill, you should see a big red barn. And every beautiful, amazing farm should have a big red barn. And there we go. Maybe if I close the game, it gets rid of the flickering. Yeah, maybe that's how you solve the flickering problem. But it looks like that. It's pretty cool. And also, I put in this kind of historical tree with a bench underneath it. It's moving. Shadows are flickering. Although, okay, the shadows only flicker when I move. Kind of interesting, isn't it? Even though the game is paused. When I unpause it, it flickers. Okay, interesting. Leave it like that. There we go. Absolutely beautiful. Kind of awesome, I guess. And then over here, my last little thing. Obviously, I've done another little pond for this farm here. But here's the thing here. See this little orchard I put down here? See these little trash cans? Now, if you use your imagination amongst the blossom and the plants, imagine these are little beehives. There you go. So I got my own little beekeeping thing here. So that's pretty cool. So you got to use a lot of imagination. But I think that's about all we got done for this build. So yeah, kind of pleased with that. Of course, and like I said, you know, I was umming and ahhing. Shall I keep this huge traffic circle or shall I make it disappear behind a hill with trees? Now, if you come from this point of view here, you wouldn't notice a giant traffic circle. There you go. And as per usual, we only look at things in city skylines from above, never from where we should be looking at them. Makes the place look a whole lot different, doesn't it, when you're down here? There you go. So I did as I promised. I got rid of that traffic circle by hiding it behind trees and rocks. There we go. And also, as promised, I tried not to encroach on my little design here. My fox design. So there we go. Oh, before I forget, and boy did I nearly forget, if you take a look at this little path here, you can imagine it's a path or a little service kind of track or road, that kind of thing. Next to the train cargo hub, which is absolutely busy. Look at that. That's kind of cool. It's thriving in the rural community next to the kind of ore mine, which you can't see. So if you take a little walk up this winding kind of little track, past the tracks here, then along the train track up the hill, you can see it winds along here. Along here, it makes you dizzy as you go up the hill. Absolutely beautiful little kind of winding design that you got here. Goes around here, goes around all the little wind turbines, and then it ends up at this little kind of hut or cabin here. Now you can imagine this is a hut for the engineers, or it could be for hikers, a little shack, that kind of thing that you can spend a couple of days or recovery or that kind of thing. But yeah, there you go. I finally finished off the wind farm over here. And it looks like that. And it looks like an octopus. This reminds me of an octopus for some reason. There you go. So we got that finished. There we go. So let's get to the end, I guess. So there we go, everybody. I think that's about it. Yep, I'm absolutely pleased with that. Next time around, we'll be finishing up the botanical gardens. And then we've only got this little section here and to detail all this, and obviously to finish off the little beachfront. And then the whole series is kind of ended, but then I got a special build which I'm going to do here and obviously place those ugly monuments kind of in here somehow just to finish off the city. Then we are absolutely done. So I guess I'm going to leave you with a view of the farm. Where is it? Where is it? Where's my farm? There it is. Where's my little beehives? Here they are. I'm going to leave you with this view here with the flickering shadows. So I'm going to leave you there as I kind of look at that jarring little fence and wishing I could fix that. So I'm going to do that right now. Find the fence. Yeah, this is why I should stop and just go move on. Put you like that. Place you like that. Then I got to replace you. And then I'm going to have to replace the other 6 before that. No, there we go. We got it done. We got it done. Finally, they got it done. Remind myself never to zoom in because I'll just see all the things I need to change. So back into this view. Finally back into this view. There we go. So I got to tell you, it is good to be back home with the family instead of abroad shooting and all that kind of thing. So yeah, and it's also finally good to be playing this game again. I love this game. This game is beautiful. So there we go. I'll leave you with the shot of the farm, the open gates, and the cows which are mysteriously moving without moving their legs. Interesting. Oh, and a speeding tractor. I tell you what, let me come out of this view here. Slow the game down. There we go. Will that help with the flickering? Not so much, but yeah, I'll leave you with that. So, in the meantime, everybody, sincerely take care of each other. Please don't zoom in and look at the fences. Have a really nice day, and I will see y'all